Minshew Mania has hit Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles go out and win against the New York Jets 33-18. In a game where, look, let's be honest, Gardner Minshew won this football game today. In the first half, the New York Jets were scoring on every possession. The Eagles defense looked absolutely terrible, but Gardner Minshew came out perfect, throwing 2 big touchdowns to Dallas Goedert and leading the Eagles on a scoring possession almost every possession. Look, what more can you say about this game? Gardner Minshew came in when asked to and got the job done. And this is exactly what you need from your backup quarterback when your starter goes down. You need to come in, play solid, keep the offense moving, and do what you have to do. You don't need to make a big play every time, but sometimes you got to check it down, and those check downs lead to good plays. And that's exactly what happened today. When the big play wasn't there, Gardner Minshew checked it down, took what the defense gave him, and made the plays. This offense looked a lot different than when we saw under Jalen Hurts. We saw a lot more plays under center. We saw a lot more 3 tight end formations. We saw receivers running in motion, trying to rub themselves off and get open. We saw a very different offensive mentality today. And it does make you wonder, is Jalen Hurts holding back this offense? That is something you have to ask after watching this game. I think it's a legitimate question to ask. Is Jalen Hurts' inability to throw the football really holding back this offense? And yes, I know, this is the New York Jets. The New York Jets are not a good football team. We can all agree on that. But this Eagles offense looked different. And you can say very much the same thing when the Eagles took on the Detroit Lions. Their offense looked very different. And yeah, both teams were bad, but you know what? It brings confidence. It brings momentum. And when the Eagles played Detroit, they brought that momentum and it gave them a couple wins in a row. Maybe the same thing happens here. I mean, I think we actually might have a legitimate quarterback controversy here. We very well might have one. Now, in my opinion, you got to let Jalen Hurts play against Washington next week. You got to let him play. You got to let him see if he can, having a week off, getting his ankle healed, maybe he learned something from this. Maybe he learned something from watching Gardner Minshew. And let me just note this real quick. No, Jalen Hurts was not benched this week. Gardner Minshew started because Jalen Hurts' ankle was hurt. You know, Hurts was only sat because he was hurt. He wasn't 100% healthy. This is not a benching, so let me make that clear right now. But after watching this game, you do have to say Gardner Minshew looked very comfortable. He looked very effective. And he hit the guys they needed to. Dallas Goedert had a monster game today, and a lot of it had to do with the fact he was led. Gardner Minshew hit some passes right where they needed to be, let his receivers make plays, and they made plays. They made the most of their opportunities. This was one of Quez Watkins' best games as an Eagle, period. This is a guy who we've been wanting to see more of, and he had a very good game. He was right there for Gardner Minshew every time he needed to make a play on third down. There was Quez Watkins. Yeah. Devontae Smith didn't have a big game. He only had about 2 catches. But you know what? That's going to happen sometimes. When the backup comes in, sometimes the backup receivers get more of an opportunity. The tight ends are more featured. You know, that's just going to happen in an offense. But I got to say, Eagles' running game was still very effective, even without Jordan Howard again. Miles Sanders had 120 yards rushing. Unfortunately, he seemed to have gotten nicked up right at the end of the game. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but we'll see what happens. So, enough praising for the offense for the time being. I do have a lot of bones to pick with this defense, though. How the hell do you give up 3 touchdowns to the New York Jets offense? How does that happen? I mean, they made Zach Wilson in that first half look like an elite quarterback. They did. And there was no reason for it. You know, the game starts, the opening kickoff goes, and the Jets return at damn near 70 yards. You know, it's like, are you kidding me? And the Jets start the game literally in the red zone. Right from the onset of the game, when the Jets started in the red zone, their offense got confidence, they got going, and the Eagles' defense, there's nothing they could do to stop them. They generated no pass rush. They just got their butts kicked. And I'm sorry, Jonathan Gannon, you need to be fired. You absolutely deserve to be fired. How the hell do you go ahead and let this happen? It's every single time this happens. We play such a vanilla defense. You know, in the pregame, they're talking about the Eagles' defense, or they're going to show some blitzes, they're going to disguise some things, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And what do? Nothing. They don't do nothing. No pass rush, no blitz, no nothing. Not until the second half when you start having the game in control is when you actually start blitzing. So it's like, what the hell is this defense doing? There's no creativity, there's no imagination, there's no thought process with our defense. It's just go out there and pray you don't get burned. That's what our defense philosophy is, and it's completely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous that our defense cannot figure out how to do anything right. You let the New York Jets score 3 touchdowns. Yeah, it's only 18 points, and they were the only points they scored the entire game. But the Jets' offense went right down the field the entire game on you, and you just let them do it. There wasn't really any changes until the second half, and the only reason there was changes was because the offense decided to play ball control offense and basically chewed up the entire third quarter. And it basically forced the Jets' offense to press, and they finally pressed and broke. It's as simple as that. You know, if you don't have that time of possession difference in the third quarter, I think you have a back and forth game, because the Jets' offense was feeling it. But I said it consistently all year. This Eagles defense is not good. They haven't done what they're supposed to do. Yeah, they had a decent week against the Giants. I'll give them that. But they came right back down to earth against the freaking Jets, who might actually have a worse offense than the Giants. Yet somehow they allowed the Jets to look amazing. But you know what? It is what it is. The Eagles were able to get a win. They remain undefeated against the New York Jets all time. They are now 12-0. So, hey, that's one team we can say we dominate all the time. But I really do have to say, these next 2 weeks, the Eagles are heading to their bye week next week, so the Eagles don't play anybody. But these next 2 weeks are going to be very interesting because I think there might be a legitimate quarterback controversy. I think that's the legitimate story coming out of this game. Gardner Minshew in this game, here's his stats. He was 20 of 25 for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. When have we seen that stat total for an Eagles quarterback? It's been a long time since we've seen an Eagles quarterback play that efficiently. It's been a very long time. I mean, Gardner Minshew really didn't even have an incompletion until the second half. I mean, a true incompletion. The rest of them were just throwaways. But he was on point. He made the right reads. He made the right plays. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, and that's a credit to Gardner Minshew. I mean, if anybody, I think he deserves a game ball. Gardner Minshew came out, did what he was supposed to do. He led the Eagles to a win against a very bad football team, and enough said right there. But seeing the Eagles offense play the way it did, seeing the way we moved the football, and it really looked like a good offense out there. There was a lot of creative plays. There were a lot of misdirections. There seemed to be a lot of things going on with this offense that we haven't seen under Jalen Hurts. So I think it does bring up the question, is there going to be a quarterback controversy in Philadelphia? And I think there's going to be. I honestly do. And now, I do think next week, not next week, but when the Eagles play, I believe it's a Washington football team, their next opponent, that you do have to let Jalen Hurts play that game. You got to see if Jalen Hurts can answer back after the abysmal performance against the Giants, and after seeing what Gardner Minshew did, you do have to see whether Jalen Hurts can bounce back from it. If he doesn't bounce back, then I think there's going to be a lot of legitimacy of bringing Gardner Minshew in and having him be the starter for the remainder of the season. Just my opinion. But if Hurts can come in, stabilize everything, bounce back, then you're going to go with Jalen Hurts the rest of the season. But it's going to be a fun debate these next few weeks, hearing all the people who are supporting Jalen Hurts, all the people who are supporting Gardner Minshew, because I think both sides have a legitimate argument here. Both sides have very good points to make. Gardner Minshew seemed to have the ability to hit guys when they were open, where he was able to stretch the field. I mean, what was it, a 40, 50-yard touchdown pass to Dallas Goedert on the first drive? I mean, we haven't seen that all season. Along with the fact the Eagles were calling some RPOs, and Gardner Minshew was hitting guys in stride, something we haven't seen Jalen Hurts do. So we've seen Jalen Hurts hold on to the football in a lot of these RPOs. Gardner Minshew saw the read, boom, and hit it. I mean, how many of those did Goddard have all day? He had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dallas Goedert was very effective today. He was the Eagles' best weapon. And why? In my opinion, it was Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew hit him. He got him when he was open, and he made the plays like he's supposed to do. Jalen Hurts is just holding on to the football too much on these RPOs, and that is something that the Eagles have greatly struggled with. So, in my opinion, it's going to be a very interesting next 2 weeks. It's going to be very fun to watch as an Eagles fan because there's going to be great arguments coming from both sides in favor of Jalen Hurts and in favor of Gardner Minshew. I got to say, it's going to be a very interesting decision Nick Sirianni is going to have to make because just going by Nick Sirianni's game plan, I felt like he had a very good first half game plan. He let Minshew get into a rhythm. The Eagles were running the ball very effectively. My only criticism with the Eagles' game plan, I'd have to say, is their second half game plan. I think they're getting, in the second half when they have a lead, they're getting way too conservative. I felt like Minshew was in such a rhythm early in that first half, coming out in that second half. The Eagles should have tried to bomb it a few times, and I don't feel like they did that enough. They should have really let Gardner Minshew really throw the football and really take command of this game. But that's something they do with Jalen Hurts too. They do the same thing. They don't let, when he was in a good rhythm in the first half, they haven't really let him take command and do what he's got to do. So I feel like that's something Nick Sirianni's got to work on and improve. But let's be fair. The Eagles won. They took care of business. Let's be happy and enjoy the game. There ain't nothing wrong with that. So with that is my reaction to the Eagles-Jets game. I want to thank you all for listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you enjoy what I got to say, please hit the like button. If you disagree or have a different opinion, or you want to weigh in on the Gardner Minshew versus Jalen Hurts quarterback controversy, say so in the comment section below. With that, I'll catch y'all later and hope you all have a good rest of your day. Peace.